Well, good morning. Peace and blessing, preppers, my prepper family. It's early, but I've got a lot of things I need to take care of, and we want to do another video, and we want to make sure that this video is just like the others, short and sweet, but with enough information that will help you and your family to survive. So that's why I'm here, and that's why I do these videos. I do these videos to come to you to kind of give you information on tips and tricks that you can use, or even products that you can get that will help you and your family survive in the event of an emergency situation. Stuff hits the fan, type of a deal. Today we're going to talk about water, but before I get to the water, I want to talk a little bit about what happened recently. We are seeing more and more often. I uh, I'm going to say emergency situations happening around us, things that affect us, our daily lifestyles. And we recently had one of those things occur, and that was the outages of the cell phones. Um, I didn't look into it too heavily, and I spoke about it on my, just briefly, on my, well, I did another video on my other channel. But here's the thing, I wasn't impacted by it, family. And I think that's where we need to all be. I truly do. I think that we all need to get to the point where we're not dependent on the system so heavily. So I wasn't affected. I saw other folks that were out there and that were scrambling, and some with good reason. I will give them that. Some panicked because they have little children, and they couldn't reach the little children. So some went through panic naturally and understandably. But for the most part, I heard about the situation. I went and did a little bit of search on what some other folks were actually saying about it, and this was early on, where they didn't have an answer for what was going on. Is when I tuned in. Later on, I found out that supposedly, people had said it was connected to solar issues. Found out later that it was actually technical issues that were being had. Uh, any in any case, folks were back online, so people were happy about that. So it was an incident that happened, but that's something that we need to be aware of that can happen, and we know futuristically coming up, we know we're going to lose the use of the internet. Get used to it, folks. We're going to lose the use of the internet. We're going to lose the use of the cell phones. It will happen. I don't think it's a matter of if it will happen. I think it will be a matter of when it will happen, and we need to get ready for that. We do. The phones, when that outage didn't affect me in one way or another, one way or another, didn't affect me one bit. And we need to get to that point. So today's not about the cell phones or the internet going down. We are here today, right? Hallelujah. I am here to talk to you today about water. What is this? Do we need to be concerned about our water? Well, personally, I'm going to say, you know what? I should have changed this to the easy prepping. I'm so sorry. It's early. Well, this is my other channel for those who are at easy prepping. This is my other channel. My apologies for not changing it. I normally would change this out, and it would say easy stuff hits the fan prep, because that's what this channel is all about, is prepping. That's my other channel. This is me, Mary C. Anyhow, getting around that, we want to talk a little bit about the water. So you know what, family, let's do this. How many of you know what potable water is? Okay, potable water is drinking water. This is the stuff that's supposed to be treated for human consumption, so that it's supposedly safe for us to drink, right? That's what potable water is. So, in the event of an emergency, you want to make sure that you not only have potable water, but you have water for other uses as well. if we are going to have an extended period of time where there's a crisis, where the stuff is really and truly every day, day in, day out, stuff is truly hitting the fan, right? And we don't have access to the normal things. I'm going to say normal, in quotes, things that we're used to, like going to the sink, in the bathroom or the bath or in the kitchen or where have you, and you turn on the faucet and it actually has running water in it. Okay, this is the normal way that most people get their water. Okay, and many folks today have filters to make the drinking water that comes from your faucet better, healthier. But for the most part, you turn on the nozzle and the water runs. We're used to that. There will come a time when that won't be available. We will go back to the ways of the old. Okay. And if you're as old as me, one of the ways of the old was to have a pump, a water pump out in the front uh, of the yard area, that you went out there, the little steel metal pump. You went out there and you lifted that thing up, and it was a little bit of a workout in order to get you some water. But that was like the old days for somebody like me. And then some folks actually have wells in their yards, on their property, some that they've dug themselves and some that were there on the property when they got there. And that is their water source. And of course, that's done a little bit differently than dealing with the stuff that we get from through the city. Anyhow, potable water. That's the water that's supposedly safe enough for us to drink. And again, we're going to need that, but we're also going to need water for other means and needs as well. Okay. So what happens if we don't drink water? What happens? Well, first of all, how long can a human person go without drinking water? Right? How long can we go without drinking water before it actually affects us? Well, the average number is 3. Okay? They say 3. That you can go 3 to 5 days, but the average number they say they throw out there is 3 without drinking water. After that time frame, then depending on your health, also there are consequences, or not consequences. There are other circumstances that you have to keep in mind when we say things like this: 3 to 5 days. What state of health are you in right now? I mean, these things um, play into or factor into how long you can actually go without water. But for the most part, they say anywhere from 3 to 5 days. For the most part, average 3 days. What happens when you don't have water in the time frame? In that time frame, they say that of course, I've never experienced it, but they say at this point in time, these are the experts speaking, not Mary C, not me, that your organs will begin to shut down, especially your brain. Okay, and this could lead to some real serious consequences. You could, it could include fainting, strokes. It could include um, even more severe issues for you, and it can lead up to and cause death. Okay, so that's an important thing. Water is an important thing. We don't think about it because it's something that we take for granted. We have it, so we don't think about it that often, right? Excuse me. But if you've ever been dehydrated, then you know the importance of water, right? You know the importance of water because that's something else. It leads to dehydration. Now, um, dehydration, it takes about 24 hours without water for you to begin to be dehydrated. And severe dehydration, it can lead to death. You know, your kidneys start shutting down, and the rest of your body starts shutting down. Your brain stops functioning like it's supposed to, and eventually it'll affect your heart. So, such a little thing as water. I'm saying a little thing as water. The thing that comes out of the faucet that most people just don't even pay attention to. When they need it, they get it, or they go to the store and get the bottles of it, right? And it's always been, in most cases, it's always been something that's readily available, so we don't even think about it. But it's an important thing. We need to think about it. And why I'm saying we need to think about it at this point in time? Because in many areas, especially in the United States, but it's not limited to the United States. I'm speaking of the United States because that's where I live. But many areas in the United States, there are shortages. There are shortages all over the world, don't get me wrong. There are shortages of water, okay? So much so, here in the United States, they actually limit in certain areas how much water people can actually use, okay? All right. So there is shalom, shalom, Susan. It's good to see you this early this morning. I'm talking here about the water. So there are shortages, like I was saying, across the world. There are shortages, but again, I live here in the United States, so I'm kind of concerned about the water here. Um, there are, and I've said this before, and you probably remember me saying this. There are means. If we get to the point in this, in this time frame, we get to the point in this time frame where there is an emergency need, and folks are running scared, and you can't no longer go to the grocery store and pick up your bottled water. You can no longer go to the local park, because we have one in my neck of the woods where they have water coming from natural source. Okay, and folks go to this park on a regular basis to get water. I haven't been out to that park in like forever, in a day, so I couldn't tell you if it's still running. I'm going to assume that it is, but folks would go out there and get uh, water for home at this natural park. Uh, uh, this natural park ground. I'll put it that way. Folks will go out there and get water. So there are different places that people can actually get water until the water starts running dry. What are you doing at home? Are you doing what I do? Are you bottling up your juice containers, old juice containers, and you putting water in it? If you look at the time frame on this one here, I started this 6/11, okay? June of 2011. This one here was filled up. Now, is this water that old? No. Okay. I use it, reuse it, refill it. But at the time that I initially started this, that's the time frame that I did that. And I do this, I'm looking, I shouldn't have showed you the label on there because I don't want to get in trouble. But I've been doing this for some time. I rotate my water out just like I rotate my canned goods out. All right, I do. So, and I can tell you what I did early on. Not only did I use the juice containers, and these things are pretty strong. The juice containers are pretty strong. Not only did I use these, but I also used the gallon jugs from milk, and learn from my mistakes. The gallon jugs from the milks are, the plastic is not as sturdy, and they don't last as long. Okay. There were several times that I would go to where I was storing my water, and I had them in those milk cartons, the plastic milk jugs, um, and they would burst. Okay, so I learned early on not to play around with those guys, and so instead I would look at the containers uh, and choose wisely the containers I was going to use, because otherwise that's wasted water. All right, that's wasted waters. Yes, milk jugs fail. Yeah, I learned that the hard way. Yeah, you fill everything, absolutely. Susan says, Miss Mary, I feel everything that will hold water with water. Absolutely. Absolutely. I do. And so we may not think it's that important today, but next week, next month, next year, who knows when, we're going to wish we had this. You know, if you've ever seen some of these movies that they put out, because you know how the devil is, they have to tell you a little bit of the truth with the lies. And Hollywood is really really good with telling us what to expect, what they plan on doing, what we can look forward to, right? And in many of these movies that they have out there, they show shortages of water. And how many times have you seen situations where they've shown us that there's a shortage of water and someone is desperately looking for just a few drops of water to drink? How many times have we seen them, scavenging through the garbage cans to find a bottle that someone has just discarded, and willing to put their lips on something that's not, um, not particularly clean, that someone else had used just to get a few drops of water. Okay, that's how desperate I believe that things will be. You won't mind putting your lips on a bottle of water if there's 3 or 4 drops in it that you can get to quench your thirst. You don't care what source you're going to get it from. Now, is that wise? Not always, not always. But desperation, desperate people do desperate things, and we've seen that before. Today, we would look at it because we've got water, plenty of water. We would look at that and say, "Ew, I wouldn't do that." But you know what? Never say never what you wouldn't do in desperation. So, as a prepper, stock up on water. If you purchase the bottled water, I'm at this point in time, I would have said at one time that the bottled water was safer. I would have. Today, I can't say that. We don't know what they're putting in the water. We don't. We pray. We trust and pray. And when I say trust, we're not trusting the system. We're not trusting the folks that put it together. We trust the Heavenly Father. We trust Him and pray to Him that He will cover us and protect us. Because at this point in time, we don't know what they're doing. We can't trust them. At least I don't. You can trust them if you want to, but I don't trust them. All right. At one time, like I said, I would have said that the water that you would purchase was safer. Can't say that today. Then the other thing I want to talk a little bit about is look in your area and see how the resources are in your area as far as water, and shortages in your area, and plan accordingly. It's different for different areas, so check into yours and plan accordingly. Um, Even if your area is well stocked with water, you're not experiencing any shortages, I would still stock up, family. I really would. In the event of emergency, you no longer have running water. And again, you need water for a little bit of everything. Sanitation, you need it for, if there's an injury, you need it to purify whatever it is that the tools that you're going to be using. If you don't have alcohol, or some type of liquor, you need it you need it for sanitation reasons. If you're going to the bathroom, your bodily waste, to make sure that you keep yourself fairly clean, because you don't want to get, a virus, or you don't want to have bacteria growing in areas where you're not able to go back and forth to the hospital or to a doctor's office or anything like that. You need water for all kinds of different things. If you want to make sure that your clothing are clean, you need water, a water source for washing your clothes. You need water to drink. You need water for sanitation. You need water for your to clean your clothes, to clean your environment. You need water, all different types of water. And you need to make sure that you've got a way to filtrate your water for drinking, to make sure that it's clean enough for consumption. And there are different tools, and we've talked about them, not so much on this channel, but we've talked about them on other channels. There are water filtration systems that you can get. There are, I'm not going to name any right now. Look into it, family. Water filtration systems to clean your water sources. You can get bandanas if you happen to go out to a water source that's got a bunch of debris in it, and you want to, now this is not going to make the water safe. It will get rid of the debris. Okay, so you have to still filtrate your water for safety, purify it for safety. All right. That could be using bleach, that could be boiling it. But if you run into an area where there's a lot of debris, and you want that water to be without the branches or little pieces of particles or whatever, this, that, and the other, you can always use a bandana. Get it yourself a cotton bandana. I have them on my shop if you guys want to come out and get them. But get yourself a cotton, not the nylon ones, a cotton bandana, and you can use that in as a filter to keep the debris out, to strip the debris from the water that you're going to try to purify so that you can drink it. Okay. It's just a simple thing as a cotton, piece of cotton cloth. And bandanas work really well for that. Bandanas work really well for all different types of purposes. They're you can use them as a sling. There are several different purposes, but one of the greatest ones that you can use a bandana for is to filter your water, your drinking water. All right. So I just wanted to come to you today and talk to you about water. There is a shortage of it. There's a shortage of it. And if you think about it, I've been talking about the migrant crisis on my other channel a lot. And I believe that the migrant crisis that we are dealing with today in the United States is done on purpose. I think it's something that has been planned. And if you add more people to a short list of resources, then you've got a problem on your hands, right? So if the resources were already um, experiencing um, a lean time, add more people to that, and the shortages are even leaner, if you will. The resources are even leaner. And so I think that that's part of the plan, is to cause the chaos so that they can come in as Superman and, uh, Wonder Woman, and fix the situation for us, for our own good, if you will. So stock up on your water, family. Stock up on your water. Do it now rather than later. Don't wait. Don't wait until you get word that something is going down. An event is going down, and you end up doing like the rest of the folks, and you go into panic mode, and you run out to the stores, and then everybody's going to be crazy at the stores. The shelves won't hold. They'll hold only so much, and then right now they're not holding a whole lot. So many areas, the water, it goes up and goes down, especially in my area. When I say goes up and goes down, sometimes I can go over to the grocery store and the shelves are not filled with water, but it's not to the point where it's limited. You know, um, it's not fully stocked. Like at one time they were fully stocked. You could look and they would be stacked up. The what do you call those things? Those wooden things. They would be stacked up with water, right? You go now and it's not like that anymore. You have days where it's not full, but there's plenty of water. Okay, plenty of water. So you wouldn't have to fight for it per se if there were just 4 or 5 people in the store with you. Okay, it wouldn't be that bad. And then there are days that I go in there and there's like only thing that's left on the floor, the pallets. The only thing that's left on the pallets are broken cases of water. So you look around and it's like, where's the water at? So you think, okay, they're waiting on a shipment. That's what you think. And there was a time when you didn't see empty pallets. There was a time, but that time is no longer here. So stock up on your water. Stock up on your water. And before I go, let me talk about this too. In the event that we're really, really out there in desperate need of water, there are water sources that we can look at. Okay. Now don't go knocking your neighbor in the head, okay, because he's got a pool in his yard. There's a right way and a wrong way to do things, okay. And I'm going to suggest that pool water is another source, family. So if you live in a suburban neighborhood like I live in one, my husband and I, we know where the pools are in our neighborhoods. Not because we go swimming or anything like that, but we look at those as water sources. In the event that stuff happens, a lot of people get up and pack up their bags and they leave. For those who remain in the neighborhood, that's a source for you. If something happens so bad in your your area, okay, an event happens and it's really bad, we don't have the normal infrastructure that we are um, privileged to have today. That no longer exists, and you need to survive. You need to check your surroundings and see what's close by, because you can drink pool water. Of course, there are a few things that you have to do. I believe one of them is reverse osmosis. There are a few things that you need to do, but that's a large source. If that pool is full, that's a large source of water for a little time, right? So there are things that other areas that you can look to, resources um, for water in the event that you're in need of it. All right. So that's all I have today, family, is to make sure that you have your water. We don't think about it as something that's major, but you know what? 3 days, 3 to 5 days is the average. Average is they're saying is three. Your brain shuts down. You might start hallucinating. Your kidneys will stop working, functioning the way they're supposed to function. You become dehydrated. You could have a stroke. I mean, all kinds of things can happen if you are um, without water. Our body needs water to survive. So it's such a simple thing. Why not stock up on it? Whether it's the store bought kind, stock up on your water, or do like I have been doing. Like I said, you get your water in your jugs and make sure you don't use the milk ones. I'm telling you, giving you a heads up, the milk ones won't last. But the heavy duty, the I call them heavy duty, the heavy duty are the juice jugs, juice uh, containers. They're heavier, they're stronger, and they last longer. And if you're like me, I rotate them out. The older the water is, I will use those to water my plants, and then I'll refill them. Okay, I refill them. I use them to water my plants for the most part. Get yourself some bleach, because bleach is of uh, another form or source that you can purify your water with. Bleach. Okay, and there are formulas out there, family. There are formulas out there. All right. I'm not going to give you any because I didn't really look it up this morning. I'm kind of going off the cuff, but I figured that I better come out here and talk to you guys about water. There's a shortage of water, and we need to be aware of it. We need to be stocking up on water. All right. That's very good. Shalom, shalom, Ola. Yes. Ola says, I save all glass bottles, jars, etc. to fill with water. That's perfect. That's perfect because that's something we need. We need water for everything. We need it for everything. You want to wash your hair, you need water. You want to wash your face, you need water. You want to wash your clothes, you need water. You get thirsty, you need water. You need water to keep you from a sore from becoming infected. You need water. Keep you from getting sick. You need water. Shalom, Denise. It's good to see you. All right, family. That's all I have for this morning on this subject. I'm gonna try to uh, I'm gonna try to see if I can do another video on the This Is Me Mary C's channel. Forgive me for keeping the name up on this one here. It's early. It's early. All right, family. If you guys don't have anything else, thank you for joining me this morning. Appreciate you taking the time to listen up, and hopefully this was helpful. The last video I did here was situational awareness. I pray that you guys had an opportunity. I know you did, Ola. I pray that you guys had an opportunity to take that little bitty test. It was a short test, but I thought it was short and sweet. Another short and sweet thing that we can do to sharpen up our skills. And it was a situational awareness test. There are others that are out there. If I can do another one, I will do another one if you guys are interested. All right. So it's good to see you too. All right, family. I'm going to talk and chat with you another time. And hopefully, like I said, this was good. All right. Peace and blessings. I'll see you on the other channel a little later, hopefully today. That was an excellent exercise. Good. You got a chance to take it. Denise, I didn't do too good. I didn't do too good. I got all of the orange shirts, but all of the rest of the things that were going on, I didn't catch. I did not catch. I was able to catch all of the numbers of the orange shirt. I got the number 7. All right, but the rest of it, mm-mm. So it was a good lesson. It was a good lesson. You did okay. Good, good, good. All right, family. Love y'all.